What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are getting into Swamp Thing Green Hell issue number 2. It has been quite a while since we got issue number 1, so if you don't remember issue 1, I don't blame you. In fact, it has been an entire year since issue number 1 came out. The reason for the delay is because the artist, Doug Mankey, he had a lot of issues going on, he had some family problems, and things he just really needed to take care of before he could focus back onto the comics. But he is back at it, and we are diving right back into this story. And if you'll remember from issue number 1, what we had seen is the Parliament deciding that it is time for humanity to end. What small remnants of humanity are existing here at the end of time, the Parliament has decided it is time to clean the slate. Of course, John Constantine, he has something to say about this. With the Parliament making their attack, he summons the one and only Swamp Thing to defend the last sliver of humanity. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we are picking up with Alec Holland. Right now, he is in the green. This was a bargain that he made. In exchange for a very peaceful eternity with inside the green, Alec had promised to stay out of the affairs of the Parliament. Now his days are filled with wonder. They are filled with love. They are filled with family. The monsters are long gone. He barely remembers them anymore. Believing that he has earned this rest, that he has earned all of this peace. One day stretches into eternity, or at least that's how it was until today. That is when he gets summoned, telling Abby to grab his child and telling them to run. This day was never supposed to come. He was promised a reprieve. They promised him that he was free. The first thing that he smells is the stale smoke, the arrogance. The first thing that he smells is John Constantine. Being summoned back to the land of the living, he grabs John, a very old man at this point, and Swamp Thing is livid because he was free. He was home. Telling Constantine, how dare you? With John having a smirk on his face, apologizing to Swamp Thing, saying that they've got a problem. It seems that they need him to save humanity from the green. But the truth is, Swamp Thing doesn't care, telling John that if he doesn't send him back, he will kill him right here, right now. But John doesn't care, because if Swamp Thing doesn't stop this, if he doesn't stop his old bosses, then everything is gone anyway, and so are they. Pointing over to the old man and the small child. They see Swamp Thing, and the only thing they can see is a monster, which is fair because just recently, they were attacked by things that look exactly like Swamp Thing. With Swamp Thing asking John what he has done to these people, John lets him know that it wasn't him. The Green had decided to wipe out what is left of humanity, to start completely from scratch. This is when Swamp Thing looks around, and now he has to wonder, what has happened to the world? John saying that they killed the world, but right now there are much bigger things at play, because what remaining sliver of humanity is remaining, they were about to get taken out. But Swamp Thing doesn't want to interfere. That humanity is no longer his responsibility. But John refuses to send him back, not until this is all cleaned up, letting him know that you can kill me if you want, but you will never get your sanctuary back if you do. Letting John know that he really is a bastard, but he will attend to this, and then John will send him back, and if John decides not to, Swamp Thing will kill him, and this will be done with. With Swamp Thing jumping into the water, we see that John Constantine also has disappeared, with the old man and the little girl left at the lighthouse. The little girl in a panic, worried about her father. She runs down the stairway, she hops into the speedboat, and she takes off. Swamp Thing arriving on the shore where the Green has just attacked. He has been gone for so long that there are many things that he has forgotten. The smell of salt and blood, the weight of his own body. He forgot how it feels to stand on real ground. But right now, he is facing something even bigger. He forgot what true rage feels like. Seeing one of these monsters, one of these Swamp Thing creations, it is attacking all of the people, and he is letting it know to stop. As it begins to come at the Swamp Thing, he grabs hold of it, letting it know that it is a sorry little sack of nothing, apologizing for what the Green had done to him. We see it take its other fist and jab it right into the stomach of Swamp Thing. As the Swamp Thing begins laying down the hate on this monster, with Swamp Thing touching this, it is a connection to the Green. This is where we see Swamp Thing brought to the Parliament, and they are letting him know that he is not meant to be here. He had agreed to stay away. He would not take his place among the Parliament of Trees, and so they gave him his vacation. They gave him his little safe haven, and in return, he was not to meddle in anything that they were doing. Swamp Thing lets it be known that he didn't ask for any of this, that he was ripped away, that John Constantine is the one that brought him here. But the Parliament does not care. There is always some excuse. Refusing to hear any more, they tell him to return to his haven and do it now. Swamp Thing says that he cannot, that he has been bound to this place, the last refuge of mankind. But the Parliament tells him that the mage only bound him, his shell, to the surface world. All he must do is give up his last tether to that body, and he will be sent back to his refuge. But Swamp Thing can't rightly let all of these people suffer. The Green letting him know that all three parliaments, they are also dying. Mankind has betrayed the world, thrown off the balance. The Parliament believes that they need to be purged if they are to survive. The only problem Swamp Thing has with this is that there are children. There are innocents that will get hurt in all of this. The Green giving him one last chance to stand down, that if he does not, they will take measures. They allowed him to have his haven. They allowed the souls of the woman and child, telling him that he will never see them again unless he chooses to stand with them. But Swamp Thing knows that his wife would never allow him to forsake these people, no matter what. He cannot let them die, and so he cannot stand with the parliaments. And so they send him back to his husk. The mage may have bound him to his body, but the Green, it now forsakes him. He is no longer with the Green. He has no more of the Green's power, no more rebirth. Just like humans, this body will be his last. Taking us back to the battle with the Green's manifestation. As this little girl is about to be taken up by the Green, we see her father come up with a giant sledgehammer and hit this monster in the back of the head. This gives the little girl just a moment, and it gives Swamp Thing the opportunity to go in on him, grabbing hold of this beast and ripping him in half. Swamp Thing refuses to let anything happen to the last sliver of humanity, letting the humans know that he plans not to harm them. He walks over to the water and he finds himself wounded. The little girl going over and trying to help him. Alec just wants to get back to the lighthouse, back to Constantine, so that he can find his way home. Now that these people are currently safe, he believes that he can leave, but he learns that Constantine is gone, not sure where or what he is doing. The little girl grabbing some seaweed, hoping that it will work like a bandage for Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing lets them know that all of the green bodies, these manifestations, these monsters, you must burn them, telling them that he's not sure if they are safe, but at least for the time being that they are. This is where the Parliament, they decide that it is time to take even more aggressive action. The Green alone was unable to successfully kill all of the humans, and so now they are going to raise an army. All three parliaments together, they are going to form the ultimate weapons, the ultimate avatars. They are going to end humanity once and for all. As Swamp Thing, the little girl, and the others make their way towards the rest of the people that are left alive, all they see is a monster. And while this little girl's father and all of them, they try to defend Swamp Thing, right now they are too scared. They are too petrified, and they don't want Alec around. But that is the least of their problems, because from the ocean, we see the Parliament's army. It is formed, and it is making its way directly towards what is remaining of humanity. Meanwhile, John Constantine, using a spell to hide his body, he has traveled to talk to Boston. He has traveled to talk to Deadman. Constantine has come here because they got the situation topside. The elementals are restless and weak. They're making their move and he needs some backup. But he doesn't want the help of Deadman. He just needs help finding somebody. The woman and the girl. He needs to find the hidden ones. Deadman knows where they are, and so all John is asking is to be taken there. This is where we see Swamp Thing facing off against this army, telling the humans to go find shelter, asking Swamp Thing if he is able to stop all of them. He lets it be known that this body is his last, but he will try. He will fight with everything that he has. Not sure if this is the end, if this could truly be the end of all of it. He has walked this earth for so long, from the swamps of Louisiana to the jungles of South Africa, to the stars themselves to the worlds beyond. He has known true love. He has known what it is to be a father. But now all of that fades. It is all overwhelmed by pain, by horror, and he is only left with one single thought. Is this truly the end? That is what takes us to the Nada Parbat Mountains, formerly known as Pakistan. Deadman and John Constantine have arrived here, and Boston is letting us know that they are not going to be happy that we arrived. Making their way inside, she already knows that something is happening. The animals are uneasy and they are scared. She knows that something is happening to the Red. John letting Maxine know that the end is here, that he needs her to come back with them, because right now, more than ever, the world needs Animal Woman. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And you don't have to worry, you don't have to wait a whole year for the next issue. The next issue will be coming out next month with book 3. This is hands down some of the best stuff that DC is currently putting out. I hate that we had to wait a year, but it is completely understandable. People got stuff going on, they got family issues they gotta take care of. I do not blame them at all for holding off, and it truly is worth the wait, because Swamp Thing Green Hell, it really is absolutely phenomenal. It's a beautiful story about the end of the world, Swamp Thing finally getting his vacation, finally getting to live forever with his wife and child. Only for all of that to be taken away because John Constantine wants to save the world. And while John isn't the most beloved individual, he's not wrong in doing so. But Alec Holland finds himself in a very sticky situation. This is his last body, no longer having control of the Green. He still has a sliver of the power that he once did, but he is nowhere near at 100%. And now facing against this army, this could very likely be the end of Swamp Thing. If John Constantine and Deadman, along with Animal Woman, cannot make it to him in time, we will finally see the end of Swamp Thing. We will see the end of all humanity, with the apocalypse right on the horizon. The clock is ticking, only a few seconds from midnight. The end has truly begun. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that happened in the last issue, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having 5 different tiers. From $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do any of this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.